We at the CPR Worldwide Media Network, your constitutional patriot radio station, would like to take a moment to reach out to a portion of our listening audience, to the NSA, the mainstream media, to liberals masquerading as conservatives who would like to see us off the air, and to those who are spinning their wheels trying to take us down. We have a special message just for you. At the CPR Worldwide Media Network, we're happy to be your 24/7, 365 obsession because, while you have your little panties in a wad, we're speaking truth to power, telling real conservatives what you don't want them to hear, the truth, and we're not gonna stop. Now then, back under your collective bridges with the rest of your fellow trolls, and oh yes, thanks for listening to CPR.
This is a station identification moment. You're listening to CPR Worldwide Media, a division of CPR Media Network, coming to you live right across the planet. Check out our website at www.cprworldwidemedia.com and our Facebook page at facebook.com/CPR Worldwide Media. This is CPR Media Network, coming to you live from the USA.
Well, looky here, a new listener. Hey, this ain't your little sister's radio station.
You're listening to Right Side Patriots on CPR Worldwide Media.
We, the people.
And welcome to Right Side Patriots. Craig Andreessen from the National Patriot, Diane Sorey from the Patriot Factor, and together we are the Right Side Patriots on a Wednesday nearing, Diane, mid-December, which, you know, means Christmas is getting closer.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Are you anywhere near ready for Christmas?
Let's put it this way. My house is all decorated and very beautifully, I might add, but there's not one present under the tree. Nothing like waiting to the last minute. But you know what? I love the stores at Christmas time. I love the decorations. I like the excitement in the air, and I don't mind waiting for a week or two before to do everything.
Is that what that is? That excitement in the air? I thought it was gas.
No, it's excitement.
Well, if you say so. Look, we've got our house pretty much all decorated, just like you, nothing under the tree. But I'll fully admit it. I am nowhere near ready for Christmas. Not even close.
Why?
Well, it seems like there's just so much to do, and you and I have been so busy, writing articles, doing the show, things. It's just really, really different this year, and I just haven't really had a chance to, I guess, get into it. But my wife told me this morning she's going to start baking Christmas cookies this weekend, so I'm excited about that.
Oh, yummy, yummy, yummy. Eat some for me.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Especially if there's any with white chocolate. I have a thing for white chocolate.
That is
and
pretty
no,
good.
I'm not being racial. I like dark black chocolate too. But I happen to love the taste of white chocolate.
I don't know if she's going to make anything with that or not. To be honest, I don't know what she's going to make. So,
Well, let's let our listeners know before we go any further that Mudar Zahran is vastly improving from his very serious case of the flu, and he will indeed be our guest on next week's show.
we're really looking forward to that. I had the opportunity to speak with Mudar a little bit this morning, and he's still got a little bit of a cough, but he sounds great outside of that.
Yes.
And he's anxious to get on. We're anxious to have him on. There is so much going on over in his part of the world, with Jordan and this whole Palestinian thing and Israel and Egypt, but we're going to cover all of that 1 week from today, right here on this show.
Yes, there's very serious developments going on in Jordan that the media, while they're too busy reporting on, Ferguson and Gardner, they're ignoring the true important stories.
Well, and we're always talking about how Obama likes to distract people from what's really going on. And believe me, next week when we talk to Mudar, we will see what's really going on over there. And what's been going on over here is a distraction from that, without a doubt.
Absolutely. And, it's one thing to protest in the very beginning. You didn't like the verdict, but you can't continuously go against the verdicts of grand juries, because if you do that, you're going against our judicial system. And what most people don't realize, these grand juries are not handpicked for particular cases. They're called ahead of time, and their numbers are drawn as a case comes up. There is no way a grand jury is stacked or anything. They are in place before. Now, that's an important fact that the media is not telling anyone.
Well, and a lot of times a grand jury is convened, or I guess maybe convened isn't the right word, but it's actually put together. And then and they're put together for a period of 30, 60 days, whatever. And in that time, nothing happens that requires a grand jury investigation. So, when time's up, they're off grand jury duty, and they've done nothing.
Right. Well, each state does have different time limits per se, but the basic premise that you just said is 100% correct. You are not seated for a particular case. You are in the files, if you will, for lack of a better word. You're ready to go before any case has even come up.
Right.
And then they pick out a number, and that grand jury will try that case. Yeah. So all this brouhaha that there were this amount of whites and this amount of blacks and this amount of this and that, it's all bull.
Yeah, I mean, you're there whether there's a case or not.
Correct.
And if there's a case, you sit in on it. If there's not, you don't even have to show up. So, that's the way those things work. Well, we have got a lot of stuff to talk about today, Diane. We've got the CIA report that came out yesterday. Yes. It was released yesterday by the liberals in the Senate. We're going to get into that. The economy. It's still the economy, stupid.
Yeah, exactly. People are forgetting about that in all the distractions we've had. Distractions, like Ebola, which, what was it, a handful of cases? The country did not go sick over Ebola. The country, we're still here and we're still healthy.
Ebola was just a spacer. It was something to keep us, keep attention, on it while we were waiting for other distractions.
Yeah, distractions like let's focus on the midterms, not in the good way like we focus on them. Let's, focus on Obama saying, well, he's listening to the 2/3 of the people who voted.
Yeah, but they're with him.
Vote, his logic is, well, if you didn't vote, it means you support me.
Right.
That's the kind of nonsense that the media has forced us to focus on instead of important issues.
Now, you wrote a great article. It's out today in the patriotfactor.blogspot.com about the economy and about the situation. We're going to get into that, but I just want our listeners to know, and I want them to be fully aware because, and they should be very proud of you. You used math in your
I
article.
know, and it was real math, Craig. It wasn't Common Core.
I know. That means that the numbers actually mean something.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. In my world, 1 and 1 is still 2.
Yeah, but see, you're so old-fashioned. That's so yester math.
Yeah, yes, math. I like that.
And guess who testified before the House committee yesterday? John Ubergruber.
Oh, yes, and we're going to get into him, too. Craig's favorite little moniker, Ubergruber.
Ubergruber. So we got a lot to talk about today. Mudar Zakran will be with us a week from today on this very show, Right Side Patriots. But now, let's wake up our moderate Muslim intern, Mohammed Hussein Obama.
Do we really have to wake him up?
Well, I know, but I mean, if we want quick hitters, we kind of got it.
I know. He has to earn his keep. I know.
You know, Mohammed, are you there? Mohammed, we had a listener question actually from Mohammed. It came through to me today, and Mohammed, it regards your girlfriend, the one humper. Does she shave her legs?
How about a better one, Craig? Does she shave her
Careful.
armpits? Or the new fad amongst the liberals, does she dye her armpit hair?
Ooh, there's a way. Hey, Mohammed, does she dye her armpit hair? Kind of a light tan, he said.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that kind of normal for a one-humper? He says there's nothing normal about their relationship, and that's the first thing he's ever told me I can believe.
Oh, okay.
Well, fire up the Intercontinental Ballistic, Camel, and send us the quick hitter.
Got mine.
I got mine. And I'm telling you, that camel is faster than Santa's reindeer.
Oh, well, you know what? He's got a lot of stuff up his butt.
Yeah, well.
Was that politically correct?
No, it wasn't. But, apparently one of those things is actually Mohammed. Oh, shut up, will you?
He doesn't like that one.
Oh, for goodness sakes. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, look at this. Obama's stimulus spending spree is back in the news because it finally found a shovel-ready job. $60,000. Now, look, I understand this is not like the $500 million wasted on Solyndra and some of the other stuff, but still, $60,000 is $60,000. All right?
Yes, and tell people what it's for. I mean, this is perfect for Obama.
Well, it is. And we're still spending the money on it, folks. This is still a work in progress. They're using it to haul horse crap.
Yes.
Literally.
And listen to this one, guys. The Bureau of Land Management will pay $58,650 to load, haul, and dispose of manure from a corral in Burns, Oregon. This facility holds wild horses and burros found on the Oregon range where they they're waiting to be adopted. But hauling horse poop, I think I can think of a few people that really should be doing it for free because they're so full of shit.
I wonder how much it would cost to have, Obama's speeches hauled off. Because pretty much it's the same thing, isn't it?
I'd get up there and haul them off for free.
I'm looking at this thing. It reminds me of a story that Ronald Reagan once told. And you know how he was. He loved to kind of poke fun at liberals and Democrats and everything. And he told a story about a politician in a farming area that was not well known for being very conservative. And this politician was going door to door, and he goes up to a farmer's door, knocks on the door, and the farmer comes out, and the fella introduces himself, and he says, I'm a Republican, and I'm running for Congress, and I'd like to talk to you about that. And the farmer says, he says, hang on here a minute, mister. He says, let me get the missus, because I don't think she's ever seen a Republican. And so the farmer turns around, goes back inside, and comes back with his wife, and he says, "Look there, Ma, that's a Republican." And the fella, he wanted to give him a little speech, and he's looking around for a soapbox or a tree stump or something, can't find any. And he sees a whole big pile of what horses leave behind that the farmer had put up in a big pile. So he climbs up on top of that, and he proceeds to give his speech. Now, when he's done, the farmer says, "Well, I'll tell you what." He said, "I'm pretty impressed." He said, "That's the first time I've ever heard a Republican speech in my whole life." And the farmer said, "That's the first time I've delivered a Republican speech from a Democratic platform."
That's cute. That's cute.
That's always been one of my favorite little Ronald Reagan stories. That one of the little things that he told. So, but yeah, we're spending $60,000 of taxpayer money to haul horse shit around.
And guess what, folks? This has been put in place through 2019. So every year we're going to be spending $60,000 to haul horse doo-doo someplace else.
And I know, it seems like a lot of money, but folks, you just have to bear in mind it's costing us almost 7 times that much in taxpayer money to have somebody follow the moo around with a shovel. So. So there you go.
Oh, it's funny, but sadly true.
And look at this here. A Korean Airlines official kind of had to eat crow and resign. And look, folks, South Korean Air, good airline. So far, they know where all their planes are, unlike Malaysian Air. And but this guy had to resign because of something his daughter did. Diane?
Yes, and I mean this is absolutely ridiculous.
It's nuts.
I mean, literally, it's nuts. This woman is the chairman's daughter of Korean Airlines, and she's also vice president responsible for cabin service on the airline. And she ordered a senior crew member off the plane because, are you ready for this, folks? He allowed her and other passengers in the pointy end of the aircraft, which is the first class section, to be served bagged macadamia nuts instead of macadamia nuts on a plate.
Have you ever tried to serve macadamia nuts on a plate? They roll around. Yeah.
Oh, and the guy resigned. His name is Chu Hwan Ah. He resigned on Tuesday amid a storm of public criticism. And the airline had to apologize for their bad behavior and for inconveniencing passengers who might have had to actually open the bag of nuts. Is this nuts or what, people? They've got North Korea ready to, wipe them off the map, and they are more concerned that, God forbid, these uppity, snooty, certain parts of the South Korean elite might actually have to open a bag of nuts themselves.
Look, with all the trouble going on, especially over in that part of the world, nuts should be the least of the things they worry about. And you're on an airplane, okay? If they give you a bag of nuts, accept the bag of nuts. But no, this guy's daughter got so incensed over this, she had the server thrown off the plane. Now, here's what we don't know. Was the plane already in flight when he was thrown off?
No, it was on the ground at Kennedy Airport when all this happened, on its way back to Korea. But guys,
that
think
explains
about the ludicrousness of this. I mean, is this the epitome of nonsense? This is nonsense.
But that's right there. That explains it, Diane. This was Kennedy Airport. I mean, we're saying this thing probably had some people in first class that, vacationed at Martha's Vineyard.
True, but I mean, they can't open a bag of nuts. I mean, are these people that uppity and that stuck up and they think so much of themselves that they can't do a little hand movement and open a bag of nuts. Now, South Korea Airlines claimed this had to do with they are a first class airline. They do the white glove service and this and that. But you don't fire a guy over a bag of nuts or make him apologize and humiliate him like these people did. This is... These
Diane,
people, you know what? Maybe we could get Obama to be the server on Korean Airlines and they can fire him.
Well, I don't know.
We're sure not doing it. Maybe they'll do it for us.
You know, I'm just saying, this is Martha's Vineyard. Okay? I mean, these are the liberal elite that would be flying on this thing more than likely, and they're probably the ones that got, all bent out of shape over this. But I still don't see what the big deal is. I mean, it's Kennedy Airport. Ted Kennedy was known to handle a bag of nuts more than once.
Yeah, Ted Kennedy was known to handle quite a few things more than one. But we're not going to go there. We're not tabloid journalism now, are we?
I've understood Obama to handle a bag or two.
Yeah. Hey, his wife's got a package. What do you want?
I'm just saying.
We're losing it, folks. Well, Craig,
goodness.
What's next? Let's see. We've got.
Should we get out of that one and get into something else? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think we better before the alphabets pull us down here.
Kathleen McCartney is in the news now. She is the president of Smith College. This is very elite college.
Yes.
She has finally apologized, folks. I know this has been keeping our listeners up late at night waiting for her apology. She has apologized for her insensitive remark in an email.
Yes, and this remark was, are you ready for this, folks? All lives matter.
So it's come to this.
It's come to this now.
When we got people, out there burning and looting and rioting and stealing and all this and holding up signs, Black Lives Matter, and this woman, God bless her, says, you know what? All lives matter. And she actually put that at the top of her email. All lives matter. All lives matter. Yes. And she was then the object of scorn and ridicule to the point where she felt it necessary to apologize. I think were I Kathleen McCartney, president of Smith College, I would have told those people to shove it.
Absolutely. You know what they claimed? They claimed it was an affront that diminished the focus on Black lives and racism. Well, guess what, folks? Before we went on air, I had put up a little ditty, and I'm going to read it. It's very short. And I
stand by for a dramatic reading from Diane Sorey.
Here's something to think about, guys. I am so sick and tired of hearing about the protests over Gardner's and Brown's rightful demises and certain elements behaving badly. If the media would stop reporting on this, it would rightfully fade away. And what we need is not a racial dialogue, but for those thugs behaving badly to cut their crap out and get a job, period. We are being inundated by a small segment of the Black population. They are vocal, they are loud, they are crude, they are disgusting, they are criminals in the acts that they're doing. And we are supposed to now cater to them and have a dialogue? No, I don't think so. I think they need to get their acts straight and maybe taken behind the woodshed, as they say, and get a good butt whipping.
Well, and you're saying they should get a job.
I'm saying they should get a job, grow up, take some responsibility, because everything that's happened to them has happened to them because of their own doing. The majority of the Black population are good people, good, honest, hardworking, middle class people striving for the same stuff we're striving for. And this element is giving everybody a bad name. And this element has now forced a leader of an elite college, the college that was attended by Nancy Reagan, to apologize for saying all people matter? Give me a break. I'm tired of their crap.
I understand there's job openings over at Korean Airlines for nut servers.
Yes, there is.
If nothing else, get a job shoveling horse crap.
Yeah.
Of course, that would put Josh Ernst out of business, but...
Hey, it would put all Obama's speechwriters out of business, too.
Well, and then, you've got the cart that you haul the crap in, otherwise known as a teleprompter.
True. True.
Look at this here. Finally, we have a police chief in Beloit, Wisconsin. This guy's name is Norm Jacobs, Police Chief Norm Jacobs. And Diane, he has, I don't know where this guy's coming from, but he says gun violence is like Ebola.
Yes.
And then he said people in his community should volunteer to have their homes searched for guns.
You know how stupid this man is? Let's just say somebody said, come into my home and search for guns. Don't you think that person would be smart enough to have taken their guns out of their home
well, yeah,
before they came and searched?
I don't know if I got any guns in my house. Well, maybe I ought to come over and search.
Yeah.
What?
Well, let me tell you something. Here in Florida, can't do that. We got stand our ground. You come in and try to take something away, it isn't going to be a pleasant situation.
Well, no, you can give them the bullets first.
True.
True. But this guy, Police Chief Norm Jacobs, is making Barney Fife look like a rocket scientist.
I know.
First of all, how is gun violence like Ebola?
He's not an older man. He's a younger middle-aged man who should know better. But want to know something, Craig? I bet if we looked at his voter registration card, we'd find a D after his name.
For dumbass?
Dumbass Democrat?
I mean, that's a double D.
A double D. Yes, a double dose.
First of all, how is Ebola just like gun violence or vice versa? I don't get it.
I know. Ebola makes you vomit blood. I mean, having a gun in your home, there's no analogy there unless in this man's warped mind. Well, if you shoot somebody, there's blood. I mean, this man is just delusional. Maybe he's smoking something. Maybe he's on medical marijuana or something.
I mean, look, people of Beloit, Wisconsin, get yourselves a new police chief. I mean, holy cow, this guy's in charge of keeping you safe?
This guy needs the padded room, with the lock thrown away, the same padded room that I put Ron and Rand Paul in. He needs to join them.
Well, the good news is, so far, nobody has volunteered to have their home searched. Because,
I mean, what the hell is this man thinking in all seriousness?
Look, if you've got guns in your home, you know it. You don't need to have the police come in and search for them.
And then take them away.
And if you do have, like Diane said, if you do have guns in your home and you want the police to come in and search, you're going to put the guns somewhere else.
Yes. Now listen what this all stemmed from. The fact that this town in Wisconsin, in fact, the whole state has no gun registration law. And the Beloit police were criticized by gun rights groups, liberals, of course, and their, lawyer shills who say they may be entering a legal gray area by not having a gun registration law. People, that's why we fight so hard for Article 5. It's called states' rights. States have a right to do as they so choose in their own state and put their own laws in place.
If folks don't know much about Article 5 and the Countermand Amendment, I would suggest they tune into CPR Worldwide Media on Friday evenings and have a listen to Legislative Roundtable. It's a great show that we've got right here on the network. Charles and Kelly and Mike and Sandy, they all do a great job explaining that. And folks, this is the way to put the power back in the hands of the states. And when the power's in the hands of the states, it's really in the hands of the people.
Exactly. And here's something else, guys, and I don't want your sensibilities all in a Twitter here. All the social issues belong there at the state level, not at the federal level.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep. Ding, ding, ding. We got that one.
Folks, we got a great show for you. Lots to talk about. CIA report, the economy. It's still the economy. And old John Ubergruber testifying before the House committee yesterday. So lots to do today, folks. Don't go anywhere. Diane and I will be back after these messages.
I believe that every single one of us has what it takes
to win back-to-back gold.
Ski faster than any other human.
I believe it's possible to overcome fear.
I believe
it's possible to destroy stereotypes.
To start over. To be the toughest.
The strongest.
The bravest in the world.
And when we work together, we can make it all possible. That's why Citi has donated $500,000 through its Every Step of the Way program, an initiative created to help future athletes reach their full potential through sport programs that inspire us.
Like figure skating in Harlem.
Like youth enrichment services. Like Team for Tomorrow.
The Team USA Stay on the Slopes initiative. Now spread the word and help decide how much of that money goes toward
offering personal support and financial assistance to Olympians in need.
Promoting the growth of hockey in the U.S.
Expanding the sport of luge into new regions.
Support for wounded service members.
Join Team Citi and let's turn a world of potential into reality.
Go to citi.com/everystep and help decide where the money goes.
It's not about how many miles you can get out of the C-Max Hybrid. It's about how much life you can fit into it. The Ford C-Max Hybrid, with an EPA estimated range of 540 miles on a tank of gas, and all the room you need to enjoy the trip. Go stretch out. Go further.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Just an old black sheep from the family tree. I'm now a vet and a victim of society. Hell, I stood by the gun just to keep us free. Now my own damn country's turned its back on me. You wanna judge me by my leathers and the steel I ride? Well, you don't know me. You need to step aside. Don't tread on me. You don't tread on me. From the Revolution War to the Middle East, I come back to a country that's lost its peace. And now here I stand on the promised land, free and a slave to Uncle Sam. You wanna judge me by my leathers and the steel I ride? Well, you don't know me. You need to step aside. Don't tread on me. You don't tread on me. Well, you think you know me, but you haven't got a clue. I stood and fought so that you would not have to. Don't tread on me. Yeah, don't tread on me. You wanna judge me by my leathers and the steel I ride? Well, you don't know me. You need to step aside. Don't tread on me. don't tread on me. Now don't tread on me. Now don't tread on me. Yeah, the old Middle East is like a man down. The old W's, K-I-A's, and M-I-A. And I find little soldiers in a foreign land.
I'm here.
And we're back on Right Side Patriots. Craig Andreessen from the National Patriot. Diane Sorey from the Patriot Factor. Folks, I'm sorry I'm laughing, but, you know, Diane is, well, she lives down in South Florida, where apparently the weather is not unlike that north of the Arctic Circle.
It is 60 degrees where I am right now. And for us, 60 degrees means I have my muttlocks on, I have long yoga pants on, I have a turtleneck shirt on, and an overshirt over it. Now, people might think we're crazy, but the houses in South Florida are, for the most part, we're cinder block construction, and that's to keep the cool air in and the hot air out. Well, that works not only in the summer and the spring and the fall when we're running our air conditioners, but it also keeps the cold air in the winter. So it's actually warmer outside my house than it is inside my house. And I thought I'd have time to grab hot coffee, but it didn't work out that way. I'm freezing.
You know, people all over the country are playing the world's smallest violin in your honor right now.
I know, but us Floridians, we all understand what happens when it goes below 70 degrees.
Oh, man.
Okay.
So you did not get coffee. You're.
No, I wouldn't have made it back in time. It was boiling, but it wasn't, quite there yet. So I'll try it at the next break.
Have you lit the carpet on fire? Anything to keep warm at this point?
No, at this point, I'm just, under my desk light where the computer boards are set up, and I've got my 2 shirts on, and
Good God.
Thinking of the summer.
Yeah, it's 10 degrees colder here in northern Nebraska than it is where you are. And I'm sitting here, in shirt sleeves and thinking, I need to turn on a fan.
Oh my God. Oh, no. It is. Our houses stay cold inside. And I mean, my hands are actually like ice.
Oh,
but
geez.
So be it.
Well, folks, look, hey, we've got to talk about this CIA report. This thing came out yesterday. Dianne Feinstein and a pack of liberal goons from the Senate Intelligence Committee. What these liberals on this committee have to do with intelligence is beyond me. But they issued this report. It was 5 years in the making. And this is all about how the CIA, hello alphabets, has managed to extract information from enemy combatants. And they're claiming, it's the most hideous torture on earth that these people have had to endure. And quite frankly, our enemies around the world, ISIS in particular, are going to use this as a recruiting tool.
Yes. And guys, what you have to remember, these techniques were never used before 9/11. Before 3,000 people were buried as 2 buildings fell down. My personal opinion, I don't give a shit what they did to them. The more they could do to them, the better. We needed to know who did this, why it was done. Was more attacks coming? You get the information any way you can. Since when do you have to make nice with those out to kill you? You don't.
You don't. And folks, I wrote an article on this. I've got it today in the nationalpatriot.com. If you haven't had a chance to read it, I suggest you do. I really went off in this article, Diane, because this to me, this is nothing short of treason, releasing this report. Our enemies do not need to know how we extract information. But let me tell you something. Did we waterboard 3 times? We waterboarded 3 different enemy combatants in all those years.
Yes.
Did we sleep deprive them? Hell yes, we did. Did we deprive them of 3 squares and a cot? Yes, we did. Did we make them stand at attention for days on end until they would start telling us what we wanted to know about what their plans were? Hell yes, we did. And does anything that we did to those 7th century barbarians even begin to approach the way those 7th century barbarians treat people they hold as captives? Hell no. And, we're talking about people that flew jetliners into buildings, killing thousands of innocent Americans.
Yes.
We're talking about people who blow up buses full of civilians and shopping malls full of civilians. We're talking about people who think nothing of committing genocide. And so did we push a couple of them up against the wall? Did we threaten them? Did we scare them? Hell yes, we did. And as far as I'm concerned, 5 times a day, when call to prayer time came around, somebody should have walked into each and every one of those cells and kicked them straight in the nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. These people are animals. These people are animals who have never gotten out of the 6th century. They have a 6th century mentality, but like Craig always says, with 21st century weapons. That makes for a very dangerous enemy. And one thing Craig left out in all their atrocities, how about the cutting off of the heads and then parading them around for everybody to see on YouTube videos, on spikes with photographs? These are not civilized men. As far as I'm concerned, these are subhuman. These people do not belong to live or walk amongst civilized men. And when Bush started the interrogations, he had the approval to do it. He didn't just go and do it. He had approval to do it. And that's what just makes me so mad. It's like Obama is, okay, I got beaten in November, so I need to pull everything I can out to get back at the Republicans. So let's start with the Republican I hate the most, George Bush.
None of what was done to get information from these enemy combatants was against the law. None of it was against the law. Now, did we take some of them off U.S. soil? Yeah, we did. Because some of these people had information that was so direly important, we had to get it.
Yes.
And as far as I'm concerned, if the law on U.S. soil says you can't do it, then put them on some other patch of dirt and ask them again.
Mm-hmm.
What this does, the enemy is going to use this as a recruiting tool.
Yes.
This is gasoline to their fire.
Yes.
And this is going to be the release of this report. Folks, the whole report is 6,300 pages long. They released a 500-page summary of the report. What this is going to do is going to endanger the lives of Americans here at home and overseas. This is going to add yet another danger layer to the daily lives of the members of our military that are serving overseas and to their families who are here at home. And Dianne Feinstein even admitted that this report could very well endanger American lives, and that bitch put this report out there yesterday and patted herself on the back for doing it.
Yes.
Now, if that's not treason, folks, I want to know what is. When you give aid and comfort to the enemy, when you actually take steps on purpose to embolden our enemies, that is treason.
Yes, and here's some nice little ditties that she said about this. First, she said when appearing that this report is too important to shelve. But then she went on and said that what the CIA did, their interrogation program, is, quote, a stain on our values and on our history. History will judge us by our commitment to a just society, governed by law and willingness to face an ugly truth and say never again. How about you, bitch, saying never again will we allow those Islamic bastards to kill Americans, neither here on our soil or overseas. But after all this happened, a couple of bleeding heart liberals came out, and there's one comment that is featured in an article in the New York Times. I don't know if legally I can say the woman's name, but it is in the New York Times report if people want to see it. I won't say it because I'm not sure of the legalities. But this woman said, and I quote, I am angry that this has been done in the name of my safety and my security. I would rather risk death than be party to this sickening torture. What are we defending if this is what we stand for? You know what, lady? I'll tell you what we're defending. Our American way of life, our values, our morals, and our country. We are also doing payback for 3,000 innocent Americans that were killed by Islamic bastards. And guess what, lady? You think there's that we're so bad? Why don't you go put a burqa on and go live over there in the cesspools where these people came from?
You know, I look at this situation, and I look at what that woman said, and I think, are you out of your freaking mind?
Yes.
I mean, what we've got right now is we've got a bunch of liberals just running amok in this country, telling us that what's right is wrong and what's wrong is right. If you're a thug and you rob a store and then you try to kill a cop, you're a hero. But if you're the cop that is charged with protecting neighborhoods and you stop the bad guy, you're the bad guy.
But
okay,
you know what,
now wait a minute. Now what we got on the heels of all that bull is we got people telling us, well, we got to be nice to the terrorists. The terrorists are the good guys, and the people trying to get the information to keep the rest of us alive, they're the bad guys. Give me a break. What's up is down, what's down is up.
But you know what? Some of this is our fault. And you want to know why? Because we have been, and I don't mean we personally, I mean parts of our party, has been too busy dealing with social issues and insignificant little nonsense that as all the important stuff happened, we kind of turned away. Oh no, we need to focus on social issues. They're really important. And this stuff slowly has been, coming through. This report was initiated by, funded by, and the majority of people on this committee were Democrats with their majority and their staff, because they knew as they had us focused on insignificant social issues, they were able to do damage like this. They have damaged the CIA so badly. People don't realize what's going to happen. What's going to happen the next time we're attacked on our soil? And rest assured, we will be one way or another. And to some degree, we already have, Fort Hood, the lady in Oklahoma beheaded. I mean, to some degree, we already have been attacked. But when the next major attack happens, and what's going to happen when the CIA and the FBI and everybody have to go in to investigate? Are they going to have kid gloves on? Because God forbid they upset the sensibilities of those out to kill us all and their supporters here in this country?
Do these liberal morons have any idea at all how butt stupid they sound when they're whining about bullying terrorists?
Yes.
I mean, seriously? You're going to whine and cry because we bullied them and got information from them? Now, of course, the liberals are out there saying, well, there's no proof that we got any useful information from. Well, prove that we didn't.
That's
okay?
right. That's
we
right.
have been able to find terrorists because of the information provided from within Gitmo.
And
now, I'm going to bring something up here. I'm going to tell you, these liberals, they'll say this was torture, okay? And they have said it, all right? But I'm going to take you back to a time when Lieutenant Colonel Alan West was serving this nation in uniform, and he is in Iraq. And his men, the men under his command, are getting themselves killed. They're getting blown up and shot every time they go out on patrol by IEDs, okay, and by snipers. So they finally caught one of these little 7th century bastards, and the lieutenant colonel is questioning the guy, and so was somebody else, and the guy wasn't coming across with any information at all. And Lieutenant Colonel West knew damn well that guy knew what was going on. So Lieutenant Colonel West took over the interrogation, walked right up to the guy, drew out his sidearm, and fired it off right over the guy's head. Then he asked him the questions again, and then he got the answers to the questions. And with that information, they went out and rounded up all the insurgents. They found where they were actually manufacturing the IEDs. They shut it down. They took those people and held them captive, and not one more person under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Allen West was killed. Now, you can't tell me that you can't scare the information out of these turds. And that's exactly what our CIA did, and I applaud them for it. And you will not find me, especially considering what the CIA has done to this radio show and this radio network, you will not find me giving them a standing ovation. But today I will, because they got information that saved American lives.
But that's the whole point, Craig. These people, they don't want to save American lives. They're very happy with American lives lost because they are traitors to this country. And I'm going to deal with that in my next op-ed, which is going to be a different route than Craig's has gone. These people are traitors.
Yes.
Every one of them needs to be handcuffed, let out of the Congress, and start with the man usurping in the White House. They all need to be led out for treason, for aiding and abetting the enemy. And you know what the CIA's response to this report was? And like Craig said, we're not fans of the CIA on a personal level because they were always on us for speaking the truth. But they said that to accept the committee's conclusions, quote, there would have had to have been a years-long conspiracy amongst CIA leaders at all levels, supported by a large number of analysts and other line officers. And you know what, folks? They are 100% correct. The only conspiracy that has gone on is the conspiracy emanating from the Obama White House. It's been a conspiracy of silence, to silence the truth, to push lies, to push cover-ups, and to support those out to kill us all. I would give them cattle prods. I would waterboard the hell out of them. I would do everything possible to avenge those 3,000 Americans that died that day in the most horrific ways. Remember the pictures, people, of the people jumping out of windows.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were going to be burnt alive. Better fall to their deaths than being burnt alive. Remember that. And you want to know something? For me and many others out there, 9/11 is personal. So I don't give a shit what they do to these Islamic bastards.
When I wrote that article and published it today, one of the things that's probably gotten the most attention in that article is where I talk about what should happen to Feinstein and Obama and the rest of the puppets, including Hillary, for her role in Benghazi. And I said, what they need to do is arrest them. They need to march them off to Gitmo. They need to hold a trial. And if they are found guilty, either water the Tree of Liberty or hang them from it.
Absolutely, and that's a great line from Craig's article, folks, and you really need to read it because there's no political correctness in it at all.
Yeah, and I'm tired of people saying, well, we're better than that. America's better than that. Well, you know what? American lives are worth more than the bullying tactics against those who would take the lives of innocent people, not just Americans, innocent people all around the world. I mean, these people are hell-bent on genocide. They want to wipe out Israel. They want to kill every Jew on this planet. They want to kill every Christian on this planet. They want to kill everybody who doesn't agree with them. Everybody who's a little different than them. Everybody who has a different faith than they have. They want everybody but Islamists dead.
Exactly.
Now, if it takes a little bullying to get the information that's going to save American lives, I say bully away. And, if you got to push them around, if you got to deprive them of sleep and food and water, I don't care. If you got to slap one of them upside the head, I don't care. You do what you got to do to get the information, because our national security and the lives of Americans at home and abroad depends on it. And there is no reason on this green earth why our enemies should know what we do to get that information. There is no reason to give them a can full of gas to throw on their own fire. And that's exactly what Dianne Feinstein did. That's exactly what the rest of the liberals on the Senate Intelligence Committee did yesterday. And there was Obama standing there applauding them for it, supporting them for it. Big surprise. I'm sick of this crap, and I'm sick of the people that go around whining all the time. Well, we should be nicer to them. Hillary Clinton. We should empathize with our enemies. Well, you know what you can do with your empathizing with the enemy? You can stick it where the sun don't shine, lady, because I'm through with it.
Hillary Clinton is one of them that needs to be hanging from that liberty tree, Craig. If you want to know my opinion. No, I am not calling for her death. So don't anybody, I'm using this figuratively because we know we're being monitored. We know we're being monitored, and everything we say is Craig and my opinion alone. So back off. But anyway, I say do whatever we need to do. Whatever we need to do to stop these bastards from killing us.
Now, let me explain in just a couple of minutes we have left in this segment something very quickly here as a compare and contrast, because this is something I like to do, and I did not put this in the article, folks. I saved this for the radio show today. When Ed Snowden released information that our enemies could take advantage of, this regime demanded him to be arrested.
Yes.
And Ed Snowden is, to this day, living in Russia to avoid being arrested. And arrested for what? Arrested for doing exactly what Dianne Feinstein did yesterday. Releasing information that might be helpful to our enemies. Now, you can't have it both ways, liberals. You can't. If you want to arrest Ed Snowden, then march into the hall of the Senate and arrest that bitch Dianne Feinstein today.
Yes, and here's another one that needs arresting, Craig, immediately, is Barack Hussein, with capital letters, Obama, because he went on television yesterday and said what was done by the CIA, quote, constituted torture in my mind and was a betrayal of American values. No, Mr. Obama, the only betrayal of American values is you and your regime.
What does he know about American values?
He doesn't know anything about it. He's a Muslim.
I'm sick and tired of pandering to the worst elements on earth.
Yes.
And when you're pandering to 7th century barbarians who have 21st century weapons and are hell-bent on genocide, there is something mentally wrong with you.
Yes. These liberals, they're worried about scum instead of worrying about the Americans that were lost on 9/11 and how about this, Craig? All our troops who have died, who have come home maimed, without arms, without legs, they don't give a shit about them and how these techniques helped to keep those numbers fairly low. They're in the thousands, but it's not like Vietnam. It's not like World War II. These techniques actually helped save American lives. Do they care about any of that? No. They only care about a handful of goddamn Islamic Muslim terrorists. That's who they care about. That's aiding and abetting the enemy, and that is grounds for treason.
How about this, liberals? Stand up for our veterans and let the terrorists go to hell.
Yes.
Try that for a change, folks. We've still got a lot of show left to go. We're going to get next up on the list. We're going to get into the economy, because America's economy is not what it used to be.
No.
And Diane's got a great article out about that in the patriotfactor.blogspot.com today. If you haven't read it, do it. But we are going to talk about that next. So let's take a quick break. When we come back, it's still the economy, stupid.
The most amazing thing about the Ford Fusion isn't the way it looks. The most amazing thing is the way it sees. With blind spot technology, a lane keeping system, and a standard rear view camera, the Fusion is ready for whatever comes your way. Go prepared. Go further.
Why do cities shine so bright? It's the glow of opportunities, of ideas bouncing off one another, of countless people, every one of us, striving to succeed. Right now, in cities everywhere, ideas are being born. New thinking that will put us in awe of what people are capable of. That's what lights cities up. And helping people and their ideas to burn even brighter, so that communities, businesses, and you and I can grow. What if a bank made that its job? For more than 200 years, Citi's job has been to help empower people and business. Now, around the world, it's wherever people gather, wherever ideas come alive. It's wherever you are. The world's city.
We at the CPR Worldwide Media Network, your constitutional patriot radio station, would like to take a moment to reach out to a portion of our listening audience. To the NSA, the mainstream media, to liberals masquerading as conservatives who would like to see us off the air, and to those who are spinning their wheels trying to take us down, we have a special message just for you. At the CPR Worldwide Media Network, we're happy to be your 24/7, 365 obsession, because while you have your little panties in a wad, we're speaking truth to power, telling real conservatives what you don't want them to hear, the truth, and we're not gonna stop. Now then, back under your collective bridges with the rest of your fellow trolls, and oh yes, thanks for listening to CPR.
This is a station identification moment. You're listening to CPR Worldwide Media, a division of CPR Media Network, coming to you live right across the planet. Check out our website at www.cprworldwidemedia.com and our Facebook page at facebook.com/CPR Worldwide Media. This is CPR Media Network, coming to you live from the USA.
Well, looky here, a new listener. Hey, this ain't your little sister's radio station.
Place and me.
You're listening to the second hour of Right Side Patriots on CPR Worldwide Media.
We, the people.
And we're back on Right Side Patriots. Craig Andreessen from the National Patriot. Diane Sori freezing to death in southern Florida from the Patriot Factor. Diane, yeah, that was kind of a short break. Did you get your coffee?
No, I didn't even bother because if there's one thing I hate is lukewarm coffee. I have to drink it boiling hot. So nope, I'll wait till we're off air.
Our listeners have no idea how you're suffering to do the show today.
I know, isn't it awful?
Suffering, I tell you, suffering. Oh, for goodness sakes. Hey, you've got to...
you know, Craig, I can't get over my anger at Feinstein and all these other liberal Democratic idiots that had the audacity to do this, because you know what the bottom line is? They just shit on the graves of every single American that died on 9/11 and has died fighting the ones who did it.
Well, and more people care. And more people are going to die because of it. That's yes. Equally as troubling. You have got a great article out today all about the economy. And no more of those number one foam fingers for us, huh?
No, and what happened was all these things that have been going on, the protests, the questioning grand jury decisions, the Ebola scare that turned out to be ridiculous, has all been deflections to take us away from the fact, like Craig said, it's still the economy, stupid. And we need to add on, it's also about jobs. And sadly, as we close out 2014 and head into 2015, the United States, for the first time since 1872, is no longer the world's leading economy. We have now fallen behind China.
So we used to be the nation's leading economy. We took that mantle 9 years, only 9 years after the end of the Civil War. We took that mantle. We became the world's number one economy.
Yes.
And we held that position until about a couple of weeks ago.
Yes. And what's sad about this is all Obama's fault again. We had warnings that this was coming way back in January, and that we had a time to sort of gather our forces and keep our number one position. In fact, we were given a chance. Now, let me tell you, when you add in that under this president, we are now at a staggering 18 trillion and counting national debt. We lost our top tier AAA credit rating, which means that it now costs us more to borrow money, both the government borrowing money, companies and consumers. And we also turned down the S&P deal, if you will, to keep our AAA rating. And that was, they wanted us to pay down $4 trillion in the fiscal debt, meaning save $4 million. And that would be an acceptable down payment to keep our AAA rating. However, Obama said no. He will be willing to reduce the deficit by $2.1 trillion over 10 years. And in addition to all this, the U.S. has also fallen in the all-important global economic competitiveness ratings compiled by the World Economic Forum. Guess what, folks? For 4 solid years in a row. We are on a downward spiral, and it's getting worse. Our producing power fell. China is now ahead of us at $17.6 trillion. We are at $17.4 trillion. Now, some people are going to say, that's nothing. You know, what's a couple of million, whatever here or there. It is a big deal because China's economy is growing. Their industrial base is growing. Our economy is limping along at best.
We're
The job
pretty much-
numbers that you see posted, guys, and Obama stands before the cameras and thinks are so great. No, he does not take into effect the people that are no longer in the workforce because there are no jobs. He doesn't take into effect the people that have been put down to part-time workers because their companies cannot afford to pay them insurance as full-time workers. And now what's going to happen when all these illegals suddenly made legal take away the jobs even more from American workers? We are not producing the same amount that we produced just a couple of years ago.
Well, and
that's the problem.
Let me toss a couple things into the mix here too. Excuse me, because these are important things. Obamacare is hurting our economy. Obamacare is literally preventing businesses from growing and expanding. One of the ways when you're on top of the economy pile, one of the ways to stay there is for businesses to continue to expand. Our businesses are no longer expanding because Obamacare penalizes them for doing so. And then another one of the key factors in this is corporate taxes. We've got the highest corporate taxes you're going to find. Why would big businesses want to remain here and pay these high corporate taxes when they can go somewhere else and pay next to nothing?
Exactly. And that's part of the problem because they're not just charging the overseas foreign companies. Our own companies are getting hit with these regulations, basically is what they are. They're being overregulated out of business. And also, when you understand this 17.6 trillion as opposed to 17.4 trillion, what that actually translates into is China accounts for 16.5% of the entire global economy when measured in real purchasing power. And what that is, that's the number of goods and services that can be purchased with a unit of currency, whether it's that particular nation's currency or another nation's currency. Ours dropped to 16.3 of real purchasing power. And that's very, very serious, folks, because originally that was not predicted to happen until 2019. And now it has happened 4 years earlier than predicted, than the World Bank predicted. And that is very serious because it means we are going to continue to drop. And guess who's closing in real fast on our economy? It's India.
India.
And that is scary too because right there up there is also Vladimir Putin's Russia. And can you see, guys, Putin having the last laugh? Let's say he's knocked the United States out as a military superpower. Now he's going to knock us out as the top economic power.
Yeah.
Russia is at number 6 and moving up fast. We are at number 2. And who knows, we might, by the end of next year, be behind India.
I'll tell you somebody else who's on the downward spiral too is our friends up north, Canada.
Yes.
Their economy, they used to be a major player, and they're no longer qualified now even to be in the G7. So
no, they went from the top 10 down to number 15, behind Japan, behind South Korea, and are you ready for this, folks? Behind Brazil. Brazil now has a better economic rating than Canada.
Now let me tell people something. I'm not sure you have this in your article. Honestly, I don't remember, and I don't have it in front of me. So if you do, I apologize. But here's one of the things that's going to play a big pivotal role in all of this is the strength of the U.S. dollar. And
Yes.
right now, the U.S. dollar is only being propped up by oil prices.
Yes.
And oil prices are starting to drop like a brick because we're producing more over here. OPEC has dropped the cost of a barrel. I think it's what now somewhere around $60 a barrel.
Right.
And if OPEC decides that they are no longer going to use the American dollar, we go from a struggling, limping economy to an economy that is dead and buried.
Yes, and I do touch upon that in my article. And what most economists are saying, they're singing doom and gloom. Yet there is a very slim chance of us regaining our top position if we do a number of things. And I present this in my article. And again, it's my opinion, but it's also based on some economic indicators. First, taxes must be lowered. That's a necessity. And we have to have the flat rate taxes, which in turn will promote positive economic growth and allow for jobs to be created. Then the federal government must show major restraint in spending and start to pay down our current out of control debt, followed with accruing treasure to back our dollar, to keep our dollar strong. Without treasure, and I'm not talking about oil, I'm talking about gold and silver and commodities and tangible treasure to keep our dollar strong. And then lastly, free trade must be encouraged, with the current regulations placed on companies, both foreign and domestic, being pared way down and held to a bare minimum, because many revenue generating, job creating companies, both large and small, are being over-regulated right out of business. And I put this in, guys, kind of as a little dig, but it's true. And least we forget the most important factor in gaining back our number one economic status. Barack Hussein Obama must be let out of the White House in handcuffs. It's that simple.
You know, we talk a lot on this show about oil and oil prices and tapping our own oil reserves and becoming energy independent because of oil. And I don't, for 1 minute, want to leave our friends in the coal industry out of this deal because, a big part of our economy has been, over the years, coal. Both domestic use for coal and coal that we ship to other countries. And the EPA regulations, as Diane said, are killing businesses. They are putting an end to the coal industry in this country. And that has been traditionally a huge source of revenue for this country is coal. If the coal producers can no longer afford to produce coal domestically, they're not going to be able to afford to produce it for international use either. And that, too, is going to be very harmful to this economy.
Yes. And what people also don't understand, there's really two big revenue producers and job creators as far as I'm concerned. One, of course, is the Keystone Pipeline that must be passed, and it will be passed when the Congress turns red and Harry Reid is knocked off his podium. We know Obama, of course, will veto it, but hopefully we have enough Democrats smart enough to realize we do need the pipeline, because not only does it create oil producing jobs, but the adjunct industries that go along with the workers are also created. Another thing I am a huge proponent of that would create thousands upon thousands of jobs is the most green of all energies. We need to build more nuclear power plants. France is, for the most part, powered by nuclear energy. There has never been an accident. We are not talking about facilities like Chernobyl. We've come a long way since the days of Chernobyl. These facilities are clean. They're environmentally friendly. Nuclear energy produces no carbon footprint. Yes, it is a bigger initial outlay, but the savings totally outdoes the initial outlay within a short number of years. It produces jobs, it produces energy, it produces revenue. It is a plus for this country. But we have a president who doesn't want it. He wants windmills. He wants, solar panels. He wants stuff that have been proven basically useless.
You know, if you want to put money, if you want to invest money into green energy and you want to do the R&D that is going to literally fuel the future, then sink money into figuring out a way to create nuclear fusion rather than nuclear fission. Because once you have nuclear fusion, you have literally harvested the power of the sun. And nuclear fusion has no nuclear waste byproduct. All of it is utilized in producing energy, and very little bit of fusion will go a whole long ways. It is the ultimate power source for this planet. And
we can do it. We can do it. I mean, tests are ongoing with that right now. In fact, we do know how to do it. But the cost and the people in power don't want it. That's the thing. They want us dependent on foreign Arab oil. Now everybody is, reveling in the fact that gas prices have come down. But guys, they're going to go back up. You need to realize this. This is a temporary lull. This has happened before. They will go back up. And then what? We're back to the way they were. And we're the number 2 economy. We're going to get hit on all ends. People, you need to wake up. The politics and policies of this administration and this party don't work. We are being hurt by them. We are being hurt. That's why it's so crucial when we take control in January. This has got to change. We have to hold everyone we elected accountable. They have to do exactly what they were promised, what they promised us they would do. And most importantly, Craig, I keep going back to this. They have to understand that Barack Hussein Obama needs to be arrested, impeached first, because that's how you arrest a sitting president. He needs to be impeached and then arrested, not only for treason, not only for aiding and abetting the enemy, but also for crimes against America. Because this man has tried for the past 6 years to implode America from within, to turn our republic socialist.
Well, and we're seeing the results of that now when we look at the economy. And this is why Diane's article, folks, is so important. And it's so important that you go read it, because you need to know what's going on the economic side of things. The stuff, from Ferguson and Garner and, that's all the glitz and the dazzle. That's the shiny ball that everybody's looking at right now. Meanwhile, the economy is crumbling beneath us, and we're not paying any attention to it. And we need to. Because if we don't, if we just let things go the way they're going, we're going to be in such a situation that we may never crawl out of it. And, our economy is a fragile thing. Even when we were on top, it was a fragile thing. And what we're seeing right now proves how fragile the economy is. All it takes is one regime leader in this country pulling the right strings, and this economy falls flat, just goes away.
Exactly. And I want to make 2 very important points here. This number 2 rating, which people need to realize, is very troublesome at this point in time, because we're at a point of time where the world is a very volatile place. Trouble can start anywhere at any time. And history has proven time and again that political and military power has always depended upon and been tied into a country's economic strength and political stability. And unfortunately, right now, guys, we have neither. Russia is making a laughing stock of us militarily. I'm not saying in hand-to-hand combat. That's not what I mean. You guys all know what I mean. The policies, the foreign policies of Obama. He's making a laughing stock of us. And you want to know what? Rightfully so, because Obama's foreign policies are a laughing stock. But adding to this, and adding to the fact of why our economy is limping along, is the fact we do not have political stability. We don't have it. Not when you have one party deliberately trying to destroy the country. You cannot have stability. You could have people disagreeing. There's no problem with that. But you cannot have the instability that we have now. We cannot have people like Nancy Pelosi. You have to pass the bill before you can read it. We cannot have people like Harry Reid who won't allow 350 Republican bills to even make it to the floor for discussion. We cannot have people running for office like Hillary Clinton, who doesn't give a damn that 4 Americans were brutally killed in Benghazi. We can't keep having people like this as our leaders, or it will destroy us economically, militarily, and it will bring our country to its knees.
Well, let me ask the rhetorical question of the day. If our allies can't trust us, why in the hell would they want to do business with us?
Very true. And right now, with Obama at the helm, they don't trust us. And you know what, Craig? Can you blame them?
Not in the least.
Not in the least.
Not in the
the
least.
man goes around and apologizes for America. That's his favorite thing to do, to apologize for America, to backstab America every chance he gets. The man who has set race relations back 50 years during his tenure, his short tenure. This is the man that countries are supposed to respect?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's a sad situation that we're in, folks, and all this stuff, things like Ferguson and New York City, which should have stayed local issues, were blown out of proportion by the media to take our eyes off of truly important things, the economy and our military. Has anybody been talking about them lately? No.
No, but did you hear the latest on Ebola?
Yeah, we've all been focused on things, you're right, like Ebola, thugs behaving badly. This is what the media has spoon-fed us, has turned our attention to as our country loses one of the most important ratings it can have. We are no longer the world's top economy. Thank you, Barack Hussein Obama.
You know, I think our listening audience needs to give you a huge round of applause, not only for covering this story, but for actually using math.
I know, and it was real math, Craig. It wasn't Common Core.
I know. It's such a shock, when you actually see real numbers, and you do real subtraction and real multiplication and division, and you see the real answers. The real answers in this case are pretty shocking, but
yes.
It's just. Well, folks, it's a great article. If you haven't read it, go to thepatriotfactor.blogspot.com, give it a read and pass it around, because people need to understand exactly how dire this economic situation is. And the next time you see Obama standing up there on TV telling you, well, our economy's doing much better. Our economy's growing. Bull crap. If our economy was growing, we wouldn't be sinking below number 1 on the world scale.
And we wouldn't be falling for 4 years in a row on certain rankings, important rankings, in addition to the economic numbers. This administration, I sit here and I shake my head how the Democrats could allow this to happen. There is nothing in it that they can gain. There really isn't. And their own people, their own Democratic constituents are turning on them. Didn't they learn anything from November 4th? Apparently they didn't learn a damn thing, Craig.
Are you kidding?
They learned nothing and nothing. In 2016, they're going to learn even more the hard way. But you know what, folks? Let them keep focusing on the social issues. Let our party fall into the trap of focusing on those social issues, and we'll help contribute to our own demise.
I know it's going to come as a shock to people, but when Obama tells you the economy's doing well, he's lying. And
yeah.
I know that comes as a shock that he's a liar, but he is. Folks, we've still got a lot of show left to go. If you've missed anything today, take heart. We're going to rebroadcast this entire show at midnight tonight, right here on CPR Worldwide Media. When we come back after the break, Diane, let's talk about Uber Gruber and his testimony in front of the House panel. What do you think?
Okay, we need a good laugh now. After the economic numbers, I think we need a good laugh.
Well, and can I just say that because we are in the Christmas season at the end of the show, I do have another Right Side Patriots special little whacked out Christmas song.
Uh-oh. Beware.
Okay, folks, so you want to stay tuned for that. Don't go anywhere. Diane and I will be back after this.
The most amazing thing about the Ford Fusion isn't the way it looks. The most amazing thing is the way it sees. With blind spot technology, a lane keeping system, and a standard rear view camera, the Fusion is ready for whatever comes your way. Go prepared. Go further.
Why do cities shine so bright? It's the glow of opportunities, of ideas bouncing off one another, of countless people, every one of us, striving to succeed. Right now, in cities everywhere, ideas are being born. New thinking that will put us in awe of what people are capable of. That's what lights cities up. And helping people and their ideas to burn even brighter, so that communities, businesses, and you and I can grow. What if a bank made that its job? For more than 200 years, Citi's job has been to help empower people and business. Now, around the world, it's wherever people gather, wherever ideas come alive. It's wherever you are. The world's city.
However dark the night, however dim our hopes, the light is always there within you.
His family gave him hope.
You fight harder than those other guys, and you win.
His spirit gave him strength.
We're gonna die out here.
We're not dying!
And in his darkest hour,
Who is the Olympic athlete?
his faith would not be broken.
Hello, Mother and Father. This will be the first time in 2 years that you'll have heard my voice. I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Your loving son, Louis.
On Christmas Day, experience the unbelievable true story of one man's journey home.
You can take it. You can make it. Just gotta believe you can.
If I can take it, I can make it.
Unbroken, rated PG-13, Christmas Day.
Come on, Harry! Dumb and Dumber 2 is the #1 movie in America.
Am I right?
What? Seriously, it's #1.
These guys are morons!
I like her a lot. Dumb and Dumber 2, rated PG-13. Now playing.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
The network wants to treat me right. Y'all can take the change and stick it out of sight. Don't tread on me. Don't you tread on me. Hey, are you ready for some good news? We're gonna take back our country. Well, it used to be easy, get a place, build a house. Now the EPA said no, that's the home of the blue mouse. Don't tread on me. Don't you tread on me. We're gonna use some common sense and we're gonna take back our country. Well, they've beaten to death that pole race horse. This politically correct thing has run its course. Don't tread on me. Don't you tread on me. Hey, are you ready for some
forces from showing them bangs.
Why don't you mind your own business?
That's good advice.
Mind your own business.
Dad got it right.
Cause if you mind your business, then you won't be minding mine.
Every sign says for sale, for lease, price reduced, make an offer, please. Don't tread on me. Don't you tread on me. Hey, are you ready for some good news? We're gonna take back our country. There's no way today we could build Boulder Dam. There'd be way too many government permit scams. Don't tread on me. Don't you tread on me. Hey, are you ready for the good news? We're gonna take back this country. Hey, Barack, pack your bags, head to Chicago. Take your teleprompter with you so you'll know where to go.
So move it on over, move it on over, move it on over, move it on over, move over, little dog, cause the big dog's moving in.
Hey, 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 move it on over.
Move it on over,
Slide it on over.
move it on over.
Hey, are you ready for some good news? Are you ready for some good news? We're gonna take back our country. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
And we're back on Right Side Patriots. Craig Andreessen and Diane Sori, I of the National Patriot, she of the Patriot Factor. And Diane, just to let people know, give them fair warning, in about 15, 16 minutes or so from right now, another Right Side Patriots exclusive, classically warped Christmas song. Okay.
Do we expect anything different from the King of Snark?
I want our listeners to, gather up the kids and get around the radio, pop some popcorn, and you've got your coffee.
I've got my coffee finally so I can warm up.
Well, must be awfully hard to live down there in South Florida.
It's hard living in paradise, Craig. It really is.
Well, especially when the temperature drops below room temperature.
Below 70, out come our thermals.
Oh, man. Gruber testified.
Yes.
We're not talking about Hans Gruber from the Die Hard movies. We're talking about Uber Gruber, Jonathan Gruber, architect and advisor on Obamacare to the regime leader, lame dictator Barack Hussein Obama. They held him up in front of the House committee yesterday, and they grilled him.
Yes, they did. And the best part was he lied again. He apologized for calling us stupid, but didn't remember that he did it,
He did it over and over and over again.
And he did it only to cover his own butt because he knew he got caught. Come on, we're not that stupid, Gruber.
Yeah, I'm really sorry I called y'all stupid, but I don't actually remember calling y'all stupid. Really? Well, let us play the plethora of YouTube videos of you doing it.
Yes. Yes.
Moron.
I mean, this man, I know he's a brilliant man, and I know that he's an MIT economist, and, I've got a little love for MIT because one of my sons goes there, but
it's one of the few colleges that Diane can actually spell the name of it.
Hey,
what did I say? That
you mean I can only spell MIT? I
well,
can also spell DUKE
and USC and UCLA,
right, and even But you know what was funny about all this? That some of the Democrats, I mean, this is kind of comical, Craig, they asked not to be seated next to him.
I know. Now, I mean, get this. I mean, he got this guy that, first of all, he claimed to have been one of the architects of Obamacare. Yesterday, he said, I really wasn't one of the architects of Obamacare. Well, then why'd you say you were, you moron? And then, well, I'm sorry I called y'all stupid, but I don't really remember calling y'all stupid. Well, you did, and we've got you on video doing it over and over and over again.
Yes.
But when he comes in, the Democrats kind of got up and scooted away. Like, we don't even want to be near this creep.
And not only that, when asked directly how much he had been paid to work on Obamacare, this was his answer, quote, "I don't recall."
Well, we could refresh his memory. It was like 400. Yeah, I mean, it was just, look, the
$1 million, like 400 million, wasn't it, Craig? Something.
Yeah, it was some just obscene amount of money that this guy made, doing this. And I mean, here's the thing, folks. The guy, Uber Gruber, is a liar. He's a pathetic liar. He knows no other way. And when he got up there in front of that committee yesterday, he knew he was in for it. Yes. And no matter what he said, he just couldn't admit that he was lying. And it just, the whole thing, first of all, every time he opened his mouth, all I could hear was Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
And the more he talked, the worse it got.
Yes. Oh, by the way, he was paid $6 million from the federal government.
Yeah, well, there's a combination of federal and state governments. Because he also worked on some of the state government websites for Obamacare, and some of those don't work.
Exactly. I mean, this man has been for a smart MIT economist, this man is really, to use his own words, stupid. He claims he's not a politician, yet he used all the political maneuvering not to answer questions. He gave indirect answers to direct questions. He hid behind subterfuge and cover-ups. He is a consummate politician.
This is a guy who sat in the Oval Office and literally told Obama, we're going to have to rig this thing so the CBO doesn't catch on that it's a tax.
Right. It's just mind-boggling. This man, I believe, had been in meetings with Obama 6 or 7 times in the White House. Mm-hmm. Yet yesterday he claimed he had never been there. I mean, this administration is known for its lies.
Once again, we have him on video talking about being in the White House, talking to Obama in the Oval Office.
Yes.
Do these people, do they have any concept at all that YouTube is real?
No.
We've got them on YouTube. We can watch them. You can see their lips move, and you can hear the words. As Chris Tucker would say, we can hear the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Right. It's just, he said his comments were offending, that they were insulting and mean. You know what? Those kind of apologies work okay when you say something once, maybe even twice. 6 times, 7 times. No. Those were deliberate. He knew exactly what he was saying. And to go before Congress and raise his arm and swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, this man kind of needs to be arrested for perjury.
Well, yeah, arrested for perjury, arrested for fraud, and arrested for embezzlement. I mean, the list could go on and on. But you know why he had his tail tucked between his legs?
He got caught.
He got caught, but here's the real reason for it. He had to testify in front of the very people he called too stupid. Okay, because it wasn't the American public, as most people seem to think. It wasn't the American public that voted for Obamacare. It was Democrats in the House and the Senate. Not one single Republican cast a vote in favor of Obamacare back in 2009. Not one.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're going to love this, Craig. Our favorite representative, Elijah Cummings,
boy.
the racist.
The little fat bald weasel.
Okay, and he was the top Democrat on the panel, and he said Mr. Gruber's statements, and here's a quote from him, gave Republicans a political relations gift in their relentless political campaign to tear down the ACA and eliminate health care for millions of Americans. No, you moron. And yes, I am calling you a moron. Okay. Yeah, you created health care for millions of Americans through Medicaid, through handouts, through freebies, but you also took away health care from millions of Americans who were happy with their health care. Remember the read my lips? If you like your health care policy, you can keep it. If you like your doctors, you can keep them. Why don't you say something about that?
Well, let's use a little math. Since today is Mathematics Day.
Okay, but not Common Core math.
Not Common Core. This is a real thing. When this whole thing about Obamacare came up, there was 30 million Americans that were without health insurance.
Correct.
And then when that was deemed not to be enough, there was 40 million Americans without health insurance, and Obamacare was going to fix that because then every American would be covered. Every American will have health insurance thanks to Obamacare. And people will flock to it. There will be signing up left or right. Now, the open enrollment thing, it all started a year ago, and, the websites weren't working, and some of the state websites weren't working, and people weren't signing up, and people couldn't get online and everything. So when open enrollment was over, we were told 8 million people had signed up. 8 million! And they only needed 7 million to make it workable. But 8 million people signed up, and then it went down to 7.5, and then when more real math was applied to it, it went down to 7.2, and then it was 7 million. And today, the actual number of signups is down to 6.5 million. And where we had at most 40 million people without health insurance when this all started, we now have 47 million uninsured Americans. So, boy, oh boy, isn't Obamacare working fine.
And here's another little happy thought. Most of those people without health insurance, many of them are ones that shouldn't really be here. Need I say more? And what people also forget is if you don't have health insurance and you are very, very ill, if you think you're having a heart attack or something like that, all you have to do is go to any emergency room in this country and you cannot be turned away.
That's pretty simple, really.
Pretty simple if you ask me.
And yet there was Uber Gruber, over and over and over again saying, Obamacare made it to being a law because of the stupidity of the American people. Well, it wasn't the American people. It was the Democrats in Congress, and that's who he had to testify in front of yesterday.
Yes, but they're too stupid to even realize that his stupid comment was actually directed at them.
I know.
And they still don't get it.
Well, I think some of them did because some of them just refused to sit anywhere near the guy.
That's true. So maybe some of them a light bulb went off in their, empty space where a brain should be.
Because you kind of saw it happening too. Because he comes in and they're kind of looking at him and they go, hey, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
We're the ones that voted for that.
Yes.
You called us stupid.
Yes. And you know what was very sad about yesterday's hearing? There was actually a representative from Wyoming. Her name was Cynthia Loomis. And she went before the panel and told that her family had suffered as a result of the ACA.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she said that her husband had opted to buy plans under the law through the Washington, D.C. exchange. But then she went on to testify that he was told after he had purchased the plan that he wasn't covered. And at this point, he was having chest pains.
Mm-hmm.
So because he wasn't covered, he opted not to get a medical test. A doctor had advised because he couldn't pay the coverage gap. And that's another thing, the coverage gap. Now, he died of a heart attack in October at age 65. So this congresswoman stood up, looked at them in the face, and told them to get over your damn glibness. Obamacare doesn't work. Everybody forgets about that gap in coverage. Who has to pay that gap? The people have to pay that gap. And that gap is huge.
Well, and it's getting bigger too, because
yes.
Right now, people that initially signed up a little over a year ago are not re-upping.
Correct. Correct.
So the actual numbers of people enrolled in Obamacare is continuing to drop. And as that number drops, prices of Obamacare, your coverage, your deductibles, and your prescriptions are all going to go up to compensate for it.
Yes. And what happens is this sign-up period is ending on February 15th, 2015. We will have Congress before then. We need to do something before February 15th so Obamacare goes bye-bye by February 15th. Or we need to light a fire under the Supreme Court, who is currently hearing a case on some sections of Obamacare. Obamacare, he wanted it as his legacy. Well, he's got a legacy. It's called, his legacy is death panels, destruction. People are uninsured, underinsured. I mean, Obamacare, yeah, you wanted a legacy? Well, you got it. Obamacare sucks.
It sucks out loud.
Yeah.
Let me tell our listeners, let me remind listeners what part of this that the Supreme Court is going to hear in their upcoming session. There is the subsidies that are a part of Obamacare. Now, as the law is written, these subsidies are only available to people who sign up on state-run websites.
Yes.
They are not, according to the way the law is written, available to people who sign up on the federal Obamacare website. So here's the deal. Obama has said, well, we're going to make those available to everybody. Well, you can't just do that because the law is written the other way. So this thing is now going to court, and the federal Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court, is going to make the decision as to whether the law has to be applied as the law was written. The way our laws are, not Obamacare laws, but the way our laws are, only Congress can alter the way a law passed by Congress is written.
Yes.
So literally, it would take an act of Congress to give people who signed up on the federal website an Obamacare subsidy. That's not going to happen.
No.
Okay, so this looks bad. Now, if the Supreme Court goes the way they should on this, and quite frankly, the way I believe they will, and they will say only an act of Congress can alter this, then that gap that you were talking about, Diane, gets even bigger. Because now, all of a sudden, people who signed up and thought they had a subsidy, but signed up on the federal site, will not have a subsidy. They can no longer afford the Obamacare premiums or deductibles, and they will drop out of Obamacare altogether. This whole thing is set up to fail. The entire program is set up for a single-payer system. It's designed to fall apart and fail so that the people then go crying to the federal government with their hands out, begging, save us, pay for it, we'll pay you whatever you want in taxes, just give us health care, and then we'll have a single-payer system, which is 100% socialist.
Yes, exactly. And this has been Obama's goal all along, remember. He has wanted a single-payer system, a socialist system of medicine. So all these little picadillos that are coming up, oh yeah, we can correct it if. The bottom line is all his corrections are going to lead to socialized medicine.
Well, and that's why it's got to be done away with. We've got to put an end to this crap and get things back to the way they should be. But Obamacare is not the answer, folks. Obamacare it's a job killer. We talked about that earlier in the show. It's destroying people's personal economies, and it's simply not going to work. You cannot, with any righteous thought whatsoever, expect an entity that cannot even build a working website to mastermind and run the healthcare system for 315 million people.
Run that by me again?
Okay. You cannot, with any sense of righteousness about you, expect an entity, the federal government, who cannot build a working website to run and mastermind effectively a healthcare system for 315 million people. There is no way the federal government can do this.
No, they cannot. They cannot. They cannot.
So if it goes to a 100% socialist system, that means the federal government is literally in charge of your life. They will make the decisions regarding your health and your life and the health and lives of your loved ones. And let me tell you something. If they can't make a website that works, they ought not be messing around with your health.
Yes. Yes. The government has no business in anything personal related to you. Your health decisions need to be your own decisions. Period. Whether it's as simple as going to the doctor for routine vaccinations to deciding when it's time you've had enough and you want the plug pulled. We do not need to be told by the federal government when our time is up, what we need medically, what we don't need medically. It is our bodies to do with as we wish. The federal government has no business being involved in such a personal matter as your personal health care. No business whatsoever.
You know how government is. If they get in charge of this whole thing and you go to them with a case of hemorrhoids, they will prescribe to you sandpaper.
Yes.
Is that what we want in this country? Do we want sandpaper on our hemorrhoids, people?
No, and Craig, on a serious note, let's not forget that there is an age cutoff buried in Obamacare for cancer treatments.
Oh, yeah.
And that is absolutely unacceptable.
I think the magic number is 75.
75. This man is trying to play God. Well, you know what? He ain't God. He's Allah. If anything, he's evil. He's vile. How dare he try to play God with people's lives?
Folks, if you missed any part of today's show, we're going to rebroadcast at midnight tonight Eastern Time, again on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And with that, Diane, it's time to say goodbye. And as I promised, I have got locked and loaded a warped Christmas song to take us out. What do you think?
By the King of Snark, you just know it's got to be great.
Say goodbye, Diane.
Bye, guys.
First thing at Christmas that's such a pain to me is finding a Christmas tree. The second thing at Christmas that's such a pain to me,
rigging up the lights
and finding a Christmas tree. The third thing at Christmas that's such a pain to me,
hangovers, rigging up the lights
and finding a Christmas tree. The fourth thing at Christmas that's such a pain to me,
sending Christmas cards,
hangovers, rigging up the lights
and finding a Christmas tree. The fifth thing at Christmas that's such a pain to me, 5 months of bills,
sending Christmas cards,
hangovers, rigging up the lights
and finding a Christmas tree. The sixth thing at Christmas that's such a pain to me,
facing my in-laws,
5 months of bills.
Oh, I hate those Christmas cards.
Hangovers, rigging up these lights
and finding a Christmas tree. The seventh thing at Christmas that's such a pain to me,
still vision on me,
facing my in-laws,
5 months of bills,
sending Christmas cards.
Oh jeez, I'm trying to rig up these lights
and finding a Christmas tree. The eighth thing at Christmas that's such a pain to me,
I want Transformer for Christmas.
Charities, and what do you mean your in-laws?
5 months of bills.
Oh, making out these cards.
Oh, you just get me up here, huh? Well, we have no extension cords.
Finding a Christmas tree. The ninth thing at Christmas that's such a pain to me,
Finding parking spaces.
Daddy, I want some candy.
Donations.
facing my in-laws,
5 months
Christmas cards.
Hangovers.
Now why the hell are they blinking?
And finding a Christmas tree. The 10th thing at Christmas, that's such a pain to me.
Batteries not included.
No parking spaces.
Buy me something.
Get a job, you bum.
Facing the in-laws.
5 months of bills.
Yo ho, sending Christmas cards.
Oh, jeez, look at this.
One light goes out, they all go out.
And finding a Christmas tree. The 11th thing at Christmas, that's such a pain to me.
Stale TV special.
Batteries not included.
No parking spaces.
Mom, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Charities.
She's a witch, I hate her.
5 months of bills.
Oh, I don't even know half these people.
Who's got the toilet paper?
Get a flashlight and no fuse.
And finding a Christmas tree. The 12th thing at Christmas, that's such a pain to me.
Singing Christmas carols.
Stale TV special.
Batteries not included.
No parking.
Charities.
Gotta make them dinner.